Hello and welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show. It is the season review of 2023. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome Azmin to the stream. How's your thing? I knew that you had like a quick exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing some late night thing, doing a bit of exercise to burn off some mama food that I had, and yeah, then I kind of lost track of time a bit. But fortunately, Hafiz, you called me, reminding me, and here I am. Although tak shower lagi lah, but no
All right.
worries, show must go on.
All right, no worries. At least you're pumped up for the final stream of the season, I suppose. Before we wrapping up all this season 2022 and 23 has been a blast. But most importantly, okay, we just have quick look of what the performance will be. Okay, what we have done in
Yeah,
this season, what things that we can reflect this season that we can actually take up to the new season. All right. So pretty much we can say that our strategy for the final game week turns out not to be the right one. I'm not too sure, but we already know
yeah,
the most transferred in last week, Eze, who actually you brought in. You can see your team right now. Yeah, the bandwagon does not produce, right?
yeah. It was a terrible, yeah, and but the good thing is, of course, the other transfer, another transfer that I made was Harry Kane, who ended up performing, and something somehow I totally missed, and I think a lot of us missed. I think you missed it as well. Is that narrative of how Harry Kane tends to perform well in the last game of the season. So it was, it was just
Yeah,
some
he got us again.
yeah, so another haul for him at the final end, but because we did, I think both of us, we did wait for some team news to see, and then when we found out that Haaland is not starting, there was a decision to be made with the, is it, do we risk, could Haaland still come in to make an impact and destroy us? Those of us transferred out, but in the end we decided that maybe City, it's not so crucial for them,
Maybe you can
and
run through your
they
team.
were going to put it in their heart, and we saw that because
Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right, let's run through. So I just go run through the bench, right, which tells you a lot about everything that happened, which was Raya, Gundogan and Stones both got benched, and we saw that, so I had already moved that to the bench. But who would have expected that even with a second string team, um, Brentford would keep a clean sheet against City, and Raya,
Mhm.
who's of course is on the bench, ended up with a clean sheet. So it's quite an incredible feeling there. So unfortunately, I had Steele, who scored less than Raya. So other than that, you got TA. I'm not sure why I'm not very well. Okay. So Trippier did really, Trippier ended up with a 0, a really disappointing end there. Lindelof with some points. Rodrigo was my other transfer, thinking that, also on the basis of Leeds, as a team that are trying to survive, they will go all out, and it showed during the game that, Rodrigo was a lot involved. He was the target of a lot of crosses, but he couldn't make it count. So, and on the safe side, Spurs were holding fast. Yeah. Gakpo didn't start, unfortunately, but I had a decision to make, so I decided to leave Gakpo in. Turns out it didn't matter because none of my other subs came on anyway. So Gakpo did come in and scored. So it was good there. It was a good decision there. Um, then um, other Eze, unfortunately, my captain was blank. Salah, who underperformed.
Yeah. To be fair,
Mitrovic,
it's a big game week, right? I mean, the thriller 4-4, and Salah only got an assist, right? I mean,
Yeah, right. Salah only got an assist, which was ridiculous. Uh, and but you can see it was a comedy for the Liverpool and the defense. It was, but Southampton suddenly turning up. Then I had Mitrovic, who I kept and missed the penalty. So annoying. So
Disappointing.
Mitrovic and Ferguson were both my, sort of like my dark horse picks, and unfortunately they both bombed. But I already had them from previous weeks, and I was really disappointed because, especially with Ferguson, because um, I was happy to see him start, only for him to do nothing. So it was very disappointing, and of course Harry Kane, who did well. So it was disappointing, and I suspect that if I had captained Kane, I would have gone on a positive
Mhm,
rank.
mhm, mhm,
But
mhm.
well, it's all hypothetical now.
All right. So basically, your team, yeah, at least the transfer in like Kane, I think the most obvious one lah. Everyone actually bringing in once we got that Haaland news that he's not going to start, right? So it's really that. I think that's the best replacement that people would think. I'm not sure whether people would think like they bring in Firmino, Jota. Maybe there's some players do that, Watkins, yeah. But potentially in terms of price, Haaland is just easy swap to just let like 12 million plus to 11.5 Kane and got some money to actually add up into your other area. So you actually went for Rodrigo, okay, which leads finally has been relegated because of that. Kane, 2 goals and 1 assist, is it? Kane, yeah, really performed. And he got 3 bonus points. So pretty much whoever captain Kane last week got really the right dividend. So in terms of your rank, man, so slightly outside 1 million, but at least is still somewhere there. Okay. And in terms of performance for the whole season, what do you think, man? Are you what's your feeling? Are you a bit disappointed or what? What do you think?
I'm really disappointed, I guess, in terms of the things I did, and obviously the biggest mistake at the start, and I guess it was also being fooled by the Community Shield performance. So I thought that Haaland wasn't
Mm,
going to make a big impact, and only for him. So I didn't have him from week one. I didn't have him for quite a while until game week
okay, all right.
13,
Understand.
week
Understand.
13. So
Yeah.
so yeah, so it was a failure on my part to really recognize how crazy Haaland was. So by then, I had already, at least I was slowly gaining rank afterwards, but then it's a bit too little, too late. And yeah, it's fully myself for underestimating that. There were obviously there were few things like Darwin uh, playing and then getting sent off so early in against Crystal Palace, I think it was, and some other mistakes. But the biggest mistake has to be uh, not thinking Haaland would go on to become well.
All right.
Obviously I totally underestimated that. Yeah,
Okay, all right. Never mind. I think that's something that need because this is Haaland first season. We just not sure what he produced because in Charity Shield he did not do or scored any attacking return, right? So that's why people are judging what will be. If I can recall back game week one, man,
yeah,
I like recall back game week one somewhere in is it somewhere August September. There is a decision that we need to make because Kane and Haaland was on same price, is 11.5 if I'm not mistaken, the starting price. Okay.
yeah,
And the fixture was definitely we need to go for Kane because Spurs versus Southampton at home.
yeah,
And then
correct.
Manchester City away to West Ham, where we can consider at the beginning of the season West Ham could actually compete in this league, right? They actually had a good season before that. So pretty much then it starts from there where Kane blank and Haaland scored 2 goals if I can recall it correctly. So
Yeah.
that's where it starts. Mm.
Of course, the irony of this whole Haaland situation is, of course, there are some absences to be taken account. But when it comes down, by the time of the last final whistle had ended for the season, Kane ended up only 9 points less than Haaland. Um, quite quite
Good point.
incredible. So it goes to show that, despite the burst of craziness by Haaland, Kane was relatively more consistent. I would say that if you were to draw a graph, you would notice that Kane probably not. Obviously, Haaland had more explosives, but then Kane was just consistently. And
Yeah,
one thing you could argue is the fact that because Spurs pretty much relied on him for almost everything.
yeah, yeah,
So it was inevitable that he would end up scoring most of the points.
yeah,
Although
yeah. He's definitely also a bonus magnet because whenever he got something, he
he
definitely
was.
like going to get that bonus point
That's
regardless.
right. Yeah,
So that is Kane, and it is something for us to think next season, of which let's say Kane and Haaland conversation will continue. I can
yeah.
only see that.
Plus, it feels
Alright.
like yeah. Plus, with where Kane is concerned, I don't know what Spurs are doing, but it seems that regardless of what Spurs are doing, Kane will perform. But
Mm.
but will Kane still be there next season? We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. I just want to touch on your chips because I actually snapshot your strategy. If you
Mm,
can recall, there is wildcard game week 13, free hit game week 20, triple
yes.
captain game week 22, wildcard in game week 29, and bench boost is 34. We go differently. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Maybe just a brief one in terms of your cheats. Do you think that you could actually make you do differently if you had a chance?
Yeah, I would think that wild carding is something that could have done earlier, and I guess I was holding off on. Although in the end I did end up picking up Haaland. I think I sold Haaland for Kane in game week 10, but in the end the form was just so bad that hence why I ended up wild carding and uh, pretty late, I guess. Because still holding to some misguided faith that my team would finally come clean, but in the end it just didn't work.
Okay.
The free hit, if I were to look back, the free hit, if you remember, it was totally accidental.
Yes,
um,
yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was trying, just testing around, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure
Yep, yep,
how,
yeah. I understand.
how I
Oh,
ended
you overslept, right? Is it?
how I ended up confirming it, but then realized, shoot, because I had done like 5 or 6 transfers. I figured, oh shit, let's just, is it
Yep,
worth it?
yep,
Then okay, let's just free hit, and it turned out to be good,
yep.
because one of the transfers that I ended up bringing in that week, I remember, was Bruno Fernandes, who ended up
Mm-hmm.
scoring really well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it was quite a great thing for me for that free hit, and really helped to recover my rank. And if I look at game week 20, my game week rank for that week was 7,788. It's amongst the it's under the top 10K. That's the highest ever throughout the whole week where I
Okay.
scored the most,
Okay.
highest score. So it was in the end it was good. Although I hope I never have to do that again. It was.
All right. Definitely something that you can take away from this season for next one. Just a quick one for my points. Yep.
I just want to
Okay.
mention that I think I did the triple captaincy worked well for me, so that worked as
Oh,
well. Game week,
mhm.
what was that? Game week 22. Yeah.
22.
So was it? It was Rashford.
Yeah.
So
I think
20.
actually I did that also. Triple captain at the same week, right?
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay. Go to yours.
All right, right. Just a quick one from my team also. We turn out we actually take a hit, man. You take a hit, I also take a hit, 49. So overall I got only 45 points from my two transfer, of which Haaland to Kane. And another decision I made is Grealish when we already knew that Grealish are not traveling, right? Okay. And then I have an option whether AZ, I did mention Odegaard, and I did mention Jacob Ramsey, right, man? So
Yeah.
in the end, I feel that Arsenal gonna like let me mention to play the game in front of the crowd and just please the fan. Arsenal did actually win big, right, man? 5-0, right? But
Yes, they did.
Odegaard did not even involve in anything. That's pretty
Since
much sum up my week of the last game week of 38. So I just have to take it on the chin. Okay. Other than that, I'm pretty much happy with De Gea. I took a hit in game week 37 to bring him in, and he produced. He conceded, but he actually stopped your Mitrovic penalty. Man. So where
Yes.
that's where I got that 7 points. If not, it could be really damaging. Conceding 2 goals from Mitrovic, right? So
Yeah.
they here over Kepa, so I got that much. I have T8 Estepina in my lineup, although Estepina did not start the game. But then Shaw
Yep.
did not play at all, and my sub was Botman. 3 points, so not bad, right? 2 points and 1 bonus point. Can I say that? That's only I can think. So over Trippier, who actually concede an own goal, right? That's really unfortunate. But if Estevino did not even come on into the game, wow, could I have that 107 points, right? That would be really jammy, right?
No,
so
that's right.
so in
Because
the end,
Shaw didn't come on. So yeah, but the thing is, and obviously I think some was stuck with Pinnock,
yeah,
who scored the goal. And it was
yep,
frustrating.
yep.
Just to yeah, can we? I don't know if are we touching on Arsenal later? I just want to touch on Arsenal.
yeah. Definitely, we'll touch other team of the season, the player by position, and so on. But
So
just touch a bit
I
on.
guess yeah. So coming back to your team, so I guess Alvarez was a major disappointment for most of us who went for him, thinking that the last few weeks he will get more paid, game
Yeah,
time instead of London. But
yeah,
unfortunately, I guess so many changes to the City team plus the distraction proved
yeah.
yeah, in the end City couldn't, and for me it was worse because none of my three were announced to be starting. So, but in your
Mm-hmm.
case, Alvarez was starting, but unfortunately,
Yeah, Alvarez. I think he played the whole 90 minutes, but he did not do anything again. Same like last week, game week 37, only 1 goal from one of the matches. You can see, man, I captain Rashford because I think that's the confirmed news that he's starting. The rest like
yes,
Salah, we don't have news. Kane, right? But we pretty much know they're gonna start, but there is no confirmed news, right? So in
yeah,
the end, even Odegaard also at that point, I do not have any Arsenal news. So, but I know that Rashford is starting. So I think I'm comfortable enough to captain him, and he's playing at home against Fulham. He might want to be doing something good at the end of the season. So that's the thing. But in the end, Riyad Rashford also did not produce. Odegaard, you name it, even Eze, a bold move by you, captaining Eze, but did not produce. So I think
yeah.
that's
It's
very
it's
unfortunate. We can say,
yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting that because you have United City who have one eye on finals, one FA Cup final, the other one also a Champions League final, and that narrative held in the sense that the players you hope would perform didn't, and yeah, so fortunately, that it is what it is, and also the narrative of McAllister, playing for possibly his last game for the club. Want to go out with bang, but in the end, the player who was leaving and went out of bank, Firmino, who scored one, but Zaka of Arsenal
Mm.
scoring two. So it's
Uh,
that narrative
that
of
one
saying,
later we'll touch because I have a team of the week for Game Week 38. Next slide.
okay,
Just touch a bit in terms of rank. My final rank in the end is 41k. 36k down to 41k main. And if I have a quick look back on my performance, since Game Week 32, I have 6 straight red arrow until the Game Week 38. Also, the last red arrow
oh,
and down from maybe later we touch.
is it the pressure of hitting the top 10K just proved.
It could be because when I watch back, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, at Game Week 32, I was at 12k rank, man.
yeah,
Can you imagine after that I go down the hill?
just
So
yeah,
that's how my season ends, man. And it ends hard for me. But in the end, if I'm comparing from last season, 41k over 226k last season that I managed to secure. So pretty
really
much is
better.
okay lah.
Yeah,
So in terms of chips, I think it's definitely a template where people start to do wildcarding in game week 26 when we got that double game
Yeah.
week news or the rest of Brighton and Brentford. So I pretty much follow the template. Game week 26 wildcard, bench boost in game week 29, where that is the big double game week, and also free
So,
hit game week 52.
but I would argue that the triple captaincy was not you. There wasn't really a consensus as to the whether or not the best type because, and so I think we both got it right there in that
Yep,
sense
I think
because
so. I think so.
yeah, because it was always tough to triple captain
Yeah.
someone who's not named whose first name
Yeah.
isn't Erling, and but yeah, but we did it and we got it right because I think a lot of people triple captaincy Haaland in another double game and he
Yeah.
didn't come to the same heights as Rashford.
Not even mentioning captaining Haaland in game week 37, who produced like is it 7 points
Oh,
only? That's
yeah,
a really tough to swallow.
yeah, I blame Arsenal for that one.
All right, man. Team of the week just for last week, which is game week 38. The top scorer we already know, Mr. Harry Kane with 16 points. But how about the rest in terms of Arsenal player? There, there is three players there, man. But it's not Odegaard. It's Kivior, 13 points. Whoever thought about Granit Xhaka, you mentioned 2 goals with 15 points, and then Jesus, I think 1 goal and 1 assist at least, or two
Yeah,
goals. It's like something like that. So Jesus at least ends the season well with 12 points. We still remember Jesus was among the hot property early
at the start
in
of the
game week
season.
one because his price has 8 million. Arsenal got really decent run in, and Jesus leading the lineup, right? So other than that, Pedro Porro, who actually benched in game week 37, if I may recall, he's back. He got 13 points, 1 goal and 1 assist. So whoever have him will be good. Pinot, you did mention 15 points. There is a drama in terms of Pinot, where later I will touch about FPL winner concerning about Pinot. Okay, and then Face 10 points. Then my punt, main the Corey. I did mention in the is it in the deadline stream? I was thinking like
Yes,
if it's a punt,
yes.
Mr. Corey. And when I saw the Everton 1 year Bournemouth, I did not saw who actually scored the goal. Then when I saw that Mr. Dokore, wow, that 11 points could actually be at my side. Right, man? What your quick response to this?
Well, quickly, that Ducore one was the whole thing that switched the whole relegation battle because the
Yeah,
moment Everton scored, even though
yeah,
Leicester had scored
yeah,
first,
yeah.
yeah, but Everton scoring because unfortunately Bournemouth failed to score, which was I totally did not expect that. But again, when you are back to the corner, see that is an example of what can happen. Three Arsenal players in there, and none of them really popular because like that spot we those of us who already had Kane never thought to also have Jesus, but those of us who had Haaland just went to Kane. Diego Jota once again popping up, and it's going to be a very frustrating thing for Liverpool strikers with Diego Jota being listed as a striker. Then you have Darwin. We don't know how they're going to do that. I'm worried that they might end up listing Gakpo as a striker as well, and then it'll be a big problem.
Wow.
Anyway, Kamaldeen as Southampton player, it's just insane that match 4-4.
I don't know. This is my first time hearing his name.
I've
Come on,
never
then.
heard of his name before. I think I may have. Okay, but in the end, one thing coming out of this, or maybe we can talk about it later, is the fact that there were so many goals scored in the last game of the season. The last game week, and it really lived up to the hype of
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be a bit loose in terms of defending, except for the relegation battle ones, and but even then, only Everton kept a clean sheet. I think no one else did. No one else in the relegation battle did. West Ham, failed to stop Leicester, and even face that guy who scored an own goal. I remember him against Liverpool, but yeah, so he scored the goal as well there. Uh, Pedro Porro will be interesting to watch for next season if he continues to play in advanced position and take free kicks. Although I'm worried that he may end up being listed as a midfielder next season. Uh, Finally, the Hia. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a lot of so many narratives going on about his status as the keeper, and it seems like Eric Ten Hag is looking to change him. That's the rumor mill. So, yeah, but Pinnock, man, those who managed to somehow get Pinnock on because of substitutions or whatever, well done. I think that's the big that is someone who would among this whole lineup. Kane fine is quite a template, but Pinnock is someone who, if he's on your team, obviously you wouldn't be transferring him in game week 38. So you
Yep.
may have already had him, and by a stroke of luck, he manages to come on as a sub. So well done to those who happened there.
All right, man. A quick one. You actually drew us the season performance graph. To yours first, man. What you
Yeah.
can tell?
So it goes to show just how bad it was, and uh, for me, and it improved slightly at first, but then as I continued to the fact after a game, if I still not having Haaland, and that's where he had I think he had another hat trick. Just push my work down, and up to game week 9, I was just getting at 5 mil, and I thought screw it, and let's find a way to get Haaland in. And at first it didn't improve, but after that it started improving. Of course, I hit the wild card in game week 13, was it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
so then continue to go out further. A few drops, but I guess the shot just too much. And continuous mistakes as well, in terms of, even though I had Haaland, there were times where I didn't captain him and at the wrong time. Obviously, there were some good times like the triple captaincy, but other than that, it was a disappointing week, disappointing season for me. I was hoping to at least get above 1 million, but I failed at the last hurdle, having gotten to 900,000. So yeah, it's a disappointing season for me. Definitely not one to remember, but hey, that's one season and no reason to stop.
Do you think this is the worst season ever in your record?
No, I've had worse
Okay.
seasons.
All right.
Yeah, so
Okay. Okay.
it's no big deal.
All right. Okay. Fair. Quickly to my performance. Pretty much, I snapshot the best rank was in game week 29, of which I was at 6.7k. I think
Okay.
that's the best rank I had. And the worst rank was game week 1, which is 633k. But after that, I move up to the leader and keep maintain at least in the
Mm.
100,000 bracket or above. Okay, so that's how my season far. But the most important things was, I did mention, starting somewhere game week 29. After that, I actually went downhill.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's that.
so obviously the scale's not, you can't really quite see it, but yeah, you can see it's like it's gradual drop, right? Yeah.
So I think I learned. I don't know what I can say, but it is something for to consider next season. Maybe the pressure that you mentioned, but I can point out some of the example, of which I think game week 29 is the big double game week, or and then after that I had a decision to make, which is to bring in Haaland but at the expense of Kane. I think that's the one of the wrong move that I made, because after that Kane did actually produce some important points before actually everyone on board with Salah. Somewhere in game week 34, is it, when Manchester United, Liverpool and Man City double. Before that, Kane actually produced an important 11 or 10 points before that. So I think that's where I crumble. And then at the same time, I just want to touch a bit because I was um, trapped, or you can say, into the Rashford and Bruno miss up. Like Rashford, like, and Eric Ten Hag did mention about Rashford might be out for so long. Based on the information, I made that move. But after that, he actually straight by in, and the Bruno Instagram shot of which under crutches and protective boots, right? I think that's really paid off, because after that, yeah, especially game week 38, he produced like 10, 11 points. Game week 37 also produced double digit points. So I never recover from that. So I think that's one of my analysis that I can.
Yeah, well, that Bruno bit is a smart, tactical battle there. I would argue, but all in all, yeah, I would say you had a relatively good season. I am taking a look at your previous seasons. Yeah, so it's not the best; it's your third best season. Because the best season you were at 10K, and but yeah, I mean, for me, it's a good job, and well done. I think that
Something to build next season, because I'm really think that what can I say? It's a missed opportunity. Can I say I could actually lock that 10K? Mm.
it would be, I guess, and but also in the fact that it's a really competitive environment now with
Mm.
with
Okay.
all the content creators around, so many
Yeah, okay,
templates, and
fair.
but you've done well. I just wanted to come back to my own season performance. I was wrong. Hafiz, you're right. This is my worst season ever.
Oh, okay.
I've never been above 1 million, so this is my first time. So wow, now the shock horror is come tumbling down.
I think one of the things that I still remember where things are right for me from the beginning. Game week
Yeah,
one, it chose Haaland over Kane. If I can recall back that night, because that
yeah.
is really deadline night. I made a really late switch, Kane to Haaland. Yes,
Um,
because I already had Kane. I'm thinking and thinking again, overthinking it, and then I go for Haaland and he scored that two goals. Then after that, people start transferring to Haaland. And
yeah,
one thing also that I wanna share, that a lot of content creator did go for Liverpool backline combo, Robertson and Trent and Salah, but I disagree. I went with Luis Diaz and Salah up front. So I think that's the difference that jump in terms
yeah.
of rep.
Good move. Yeah. So not because you currently predicted the Liverpool defense will be crap. So
No, I
um,
think I favor the attackers more, right? Because
yeah,
spending big, yeah, but you just never know next season.
yeah.
Mm.
Because the first game week I also thought, because I had Darwin who scored and assisted, only to get sent off
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
next
yeah,
match.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
good work. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to top players by position, at least
Yeah.
we after game week 38, who actually scored the best in term each department. I'm not sure whether you're surprised or not. David Raya is the best goalkeeper in terms of FPL point. Scored 166 points, 4 points more than Alisson. So means that it's actually a tight call in the end. Liverpool did concede 4 goals, but Raya kept a clean sheet against Man City, who actually good. Okay. So in terms of defenders, Trippier, 198 points by miles, the best defender, can I say?
Yes.
Over the likes of Arsenal defenders there. But Arsenal defenders has turned out to be good, especially their price is decent this year. And PA still make it in top 5, even though before this is not in the list in this list. So
Yeah.
that's for defenders. Midfielder, Salah make a late run, and he actually the top midfielder in terms of FPL points with 229 over. You can see there in top 5 we have 3 Arsenal midfielders there: Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli, and with Rashford from Manchester United represent. And also forward, we don't even want to mention Haaland is the best FPL points in game week 22-23 with 272 points. But you mentioned 9 points. After that is Kane.
Yeah. That's why the difference is so close. The keeper bit, yeah, who would have thought? I think it's incredible when you think how. Okay, Raya, we knew we figured out quite early that he may be conceding, but he's picking out a lot of save points and as a result bonus points. So it's quite impressive to see. Um, but I definitely don't expect to see the end of the season. The second best goalkeeper was Alisson, given how given how Liverpool perceptively was so leaky. So I find it hard to believe that there he is right there. Uh, the here, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of some. I think he ended up with quite a lot of clean sheets, so that helped. Although they will have problems in attack, then Pope and Sa. So midfield's not surprised. Yeah, somehow Salah, despite very underperforming season for him, yet there he is still finishing at the top of the season. But surprise, surprise, Odegaard second. It's quite an incredible achievement from him, and Rashford coming into the third place. Although again, he's another player I'm worried might end up being listed as a striker. And the surprise of the start at the start of the season, Martinelli, who he
Yeah,
really, he really,
correct.
he really turned it up this season, and now he's such a vital importance for um, Arsenal. Quickly on the defender side, yeah, Trippier was becoming a bomb, getting all this bonus points, but he did falter a bit in the run-in. But other than that, he still finished 42 points above the next top scorer, which was White. Then surprisingly still finished up second, but yeah, again, I would have liked him to be around the Trippier side. And of course, Haaland and Kane we know about, and with Tony, who 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 performs for Brentford at 182, but still far from the rest of the team. So yeah, that's it. It'll be interesting to see how they perform next season.
All right, man. We don't want to debate, but I think player of the season will be Haaland. If one will say, maybe you disagree. I don't know. Haaland is he the best? Or yeah,
Definitely, both in terms of playing ability as well as fantasy point generating. He was so dominating. It was incredible, and watching him play, it was crazy how I didn't really look at it before. Just how good he was in getting into the right position. His anticipation is skills were really really strong. So let's see if when he continues next season.
all right, man. Let's go to the next one, of which I just compiled all the highest points scored by a player in each week, and we can see there in terms of stats, Haaland and Odegaard actually both has got 3 times highest points on the week. So you can see there Haaland in game week 5 with 70 points, game week 9 23 points, and then game week 21 17 points. I think the 23 points is it against Manchester United, if I'm
Yeah.
right. Okay. I think that's easily the biggest. And in terms of scored twice in this season, Salah, Kane, Rashford, Saka, and Wilson. So we have some mix of those assets. All right. In terms of by team, okay, according to the team, Arsenal without a doubt they have like 9 players, okay, that scored highest in a single game in a week. All right. And by position, without a doubt, midfielder are dominating in terms of scoring the best point in a week. So what do you think, Min? Haaland, Odegaard, they are really special this season.
Yeah. So the difference is that with Haaland, he was so dominating that was just impossible not to have him. But the fact with highest point by we Arsenal had the top nine with 9 players with nine times, sorry, not 9 players. So one of the problems is that they there's there's a good distribution of players on the Arsenal team who can score. So even looking at that list, I can see Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Odegaard, even Nelson, Jesus. So there's just too many, and that makes it hard for us to captain them, because because you don't know who goals are going to come from. Having having said that, one of the things that we always Arsenal lineup was due to the fact that they were so cheap comparing to
Yep.
top players with Harry Kane, Salah. Yeah, they're also expensive. So then along comes Arsenal, who you could actually have 3 Arsenal players in your team if you wanted to. You could because they were affordable. Yeah. So, but again, yeah, but putting the captaincy is on one of them would is always going to be a tough thing. Um, I just want to quickly touch on the position because after I have a look, and it's quite incredible. I guess it's normal for Fantasy FPL that the highest will be in the midfielder. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
quite neat. Having said that, the forward there's quite a fair bit of forwards, surprisingly. more than, which is more than normal, and that's thanks to Haaland and Kane lah. I think most of it is Haaland and Kane anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, mate. Next one is team of the season based on FPI points that we
Yeah.
actually showed just now. In terms of goalkeeper, Raya scored the highest, so he's in this team. Then we have Trippier, then we have Ben White, and then TA, who actually scored 156 points respectively. We have Salah, Odegaard, Rashford, Saka, and Martinelli. We did mention that, and Haaland and Kane up front. Obviously, this team of the season dominated by Arsenal player. We have four Arsenal players here. Yeah, White, Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli. We have two Liverpool representation, Salah and also TA. Even Man City only have one, which is Haaland. So that pretty much tells that Man City, I said Haaland is the only one that we should consider.
So this is a perfect example. You know, you got three Arsenal players there in the team of the season. You know, so it's going to be hard. But whereas with City was Haaland and Spurs was Kane, and to an extent Liverpool was Salah, although TA was there. But you know, captaining him was always going to be tough. So that's why I think time the captaincy revolved around Salah, Haaland, and Kane, unless it was a double game week. You know, that kind of thing. The for me the biggest surprise is to find, you know, somehow see Trent Alexander-Arnold on the list, given he was so erratic. You know, Liverpool had so many problems in defense. But there was a reshuffling, and Jurgen Klopp redesigned his playing position, and you know, so when he was attacking, he was pretty much in midfield, and as a result, he was able to generate a lot more points. Yeah, so that one, you know, the him being in the team of season, you got to thank Klopp for that, you know, for re-engineering, because it was if he had played as he in his normal previous role, he could have been. It was only because there was no good enough replacement for him at right back. Otherwise, you know, he could have been dropped. Which would have happened if we were in a team like City,
Yeah.
Manchester
Yeah.
City.
So this is the team of the season, mean. So pretty much like we mentioned, Arsenal dominating. The rest, Trippier in terms of Newcastle player, he's the best, most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah,
Trippier,
whoever
Trippier was
thought.
insane. Yeah, Trippier was insane because, you know, when every time you take a set piece, you always manage to connect to a player to head the ball. It may not have necessarily gone in, but because it was a successful cross, he continued to generate, which ended up leading to bonus points. Yeah, it's just that in the but you know, towards the last third of the season, they shifted to become more attacking and less reliant on set pieces. And of course, we had both Wilson and Isaac fit. You know, and so it changed the dynamic a bit, and in the end, reduced Trippier's impact as an FPL. So
Right, all right. We touched everyone already in this sheet. So we go to the next win. We just want to share the season 2023 FPL winner. The first place was FPL Guns. Okay, Ali Jahangir from Azerbaijan, and he's actually an Arsenal fan. So good job to him. But you can see there in terms of ranking, he is only 5 points over Abdullah Amir Azuri from Egypt. And when I read actually the news, Ali was concerned in terms of Amir team because he's kind of leading in terms of life rank until Callum Wilson actually came on a sub and got 1 point and denied Pinnock. You did mention 14 points coming off the bench. I think that's really much the difference at the last day. So first of all, congratulations to Ali. I think he deserves it, and he's now everyone know him. Okay, and actually I follow him in Twitter. Okay, so he actually get Kane and also Odegaard in mean same transfer like me. He did not captain Kane, but he was lucky to get captaincy on Salah. So what do you think, man?
well, I think that, yeah, I because he burst into the Twitter scene in the second half of the season, and it
Yeah.
was, you know, at that point it was already quite high, but then he was listening. He was trying, explaining. So it was quite transparent in showing, and then what he was quite brave. And there were times, and towards
Yeah.
the end of the season, he was one of those. During that time that I had Darwin and Game Week 30 something, he had purchased Darwin at some point,
Yeah.
but it failed to, again, just like me, it didn't come off. But he's capable of that and makes some of these decisions which are not template, I guess you could
Yeah.
argue, but somehow he rallied and he won. So well done, Ali.
Yeah. You can see that Akanji is one of his pick that people might not go for. There. Lindelof over Shaw. You can see there, no Shaw inside his team. At the last game. And then one more thing that I just want to touch is he made a decision of captaining Wilson and brought in Wilson in game week 36 where Newcastle double and captain him. And in the top 10 other than him actually went for Isaac. So I think that's pretty much also a bit different when in terms of game week 36 for him.
Yeah, the some of these but game changing
Yeah.
decisions. So yeah,
So also like Yasmin, even like yours, he can take and be different from others, and that's why he's actually won this game. And people did mention he might be like lucky or one off. Last
yeah.
season he actually got somewhere in 200 place, right? So I don't think he's someone that lucky to get this.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a combination of stats and luck, but
Yeah.
it's you would have to have a methodology of going about things if you want to be consistent. One thing I can say is that one thing to point out interestingly when you look at it is that his final squad, he did not captain Kane for this last game week. He captained Salah, although thankfully he did captain someone who did return. So that's because the second place fella, Captain Salah, Captain Kane.
Yes, yeah.
So, but because the gap was already significant enough, it just wasn't close enough. But then when you look at that top five, you see how close it is. 2770, 2771, 776. So what it was, I wonder how these guys felt towards the end. They were really
Yep.
angling, trying to get it. So well done, Ali. It was
Yeah.
a good season for the top.
All right, okay, good. All right, man. I think just a bit of our reflection. Maybe we can share what is you can remember the highlight of this season, at least from your perspective.
I guess the highlight of the season was the picking up the right, using the triple captaincy at the right time. It was quite amazing. But the other point I can point out for me and on a personal note is the accidental free hit, which turned out to be a great in terms of overall rank. So those are the two I would pick out. How about you?
Okay, in terms of reason, I think the most important decision is actually Haaland over Kane. I think the game week one could easily be different. Uh, if I went to Kane, because if I went to Kane, I might not actually switch Haaland to game week two. I'm that kind of manager who wants to be patient, right? But if you're being patient with Haaland, like not captaining Haaland and so on, we still stubborn. That could punish us this season, man. That's pretty much
Yeah.
have even proven. But next year, what do you think, man? Haaland, it is something that people will be afraid of. Maybe Haaland will be priced at 14, 13 million. We just need to go for him, right?
Yeah. I mean, it should not put us off because he was already above 10 for this season. So for next season, even if he is, so what? He's such a class player. And which brings me to that next point. My biggest disappointment, regret is
Okay.
underestimating Haaland. So for me, that's pretty much it. And it is most of the responsibility for my poor performance is down to not realizing Haaland was the real deal. So that's for me biggest
All right.
disappointment.
So in terms for me, maybe my biggest regret or disappointment is not locking the 10k when I got that opportunity, because I already had somewhere there in 6.7k placing, and then I actually did not take that. So I think that's the biggest one that I can think of. Okay, and maybe one or thing, maybe I did not take chance, right? Like go for Wilson when we already debating that Wilson going to be explosive one instead of Isaac, right? But we still
Yeah.
go for the safe one.
And and
So
and and yeah, speaking on that, I remember because you suggested to me, because I was the one who already had Isaac. You suggested me, why not double up front and
yeah,
Captain Wilson? And that is also a regret of mine, because when I look at it, my goodness, Hafiz, he was so right.
yeah.
Bob Wilson went crazy. And but because my bias of tendency of going with two of the same team up top, yeah, it worked against me.
Right, man. What a lesson learned that we can take from this season? How about you?
Gosh, lesson learned. Um, be humble enough to realize your error early. Because I think that me not going on Haaland for so long also partly is maybe some ego there, thinking I'm sure I'm right. He's bound to fail, and that didn't happen as well. Even to a point, okay, City was it, but I'm not going to pick Haaland because just to be different, I'm going to pick KDB instead. That kind of thing. Because something you just need to, when something so obvious is staring at you, then I need to accept reality that I was wrong, and but realizing I'm wrong early. So that's something I need to buckle up. And obviously my style's very different than yours, in terms I tend to have I like my dark horse picks and so on.
Yep.
But then
Understand?
there has to be a limit. So I don't know, now that we think about lesson learned, I feel like I'm having this every season where I go overboard. So I don't know whether I'll ever learn this lesson, or is it just accept that this is just the style I play. But having said that, there is a couple of seasons where I finished up under 100K, and did well, even though continuing in that style. But I think I need to just finding that right balance, and which is ironic, because I've had a lot more seasons than you playing this game, but
Yeah.
you found the clicks pretty quickly, whereas here I am still very erratic.
All right. That's something good point also to share. Other than that, for lesson learned from me, even though you did mention that the one that who more patient, more conventional, more conservative, but that Bruno and Rashford thing, maybe I'm a bit hasty on it. Could be, but I watch David Wender do a live stream that maybe there are sometimes you need to be aggressive. So I mix it up, and I feel that sometimes I need to be more aggressive and take it. But I think from here, the lesson learned from that 6 game week downhill, maybe that I need to really, really be more patient and see. I don't know.
But one lesson that I'm learning, because what from how you play, is because you definitely plan better than me, and as a result you take less hits. And not to say hits aren't good, but the thing is, when I take hits, it seems to be tend to because I'm correcting my squad, whereas because you've already had some long you had taken your long-term planning into account. As a result, you have less mistakes to correct. So that I'm learning, that I think I've learned that lesson from you as well, to try to be a bit more further and not just react
All
right
right.
on a week by week basis.
Okay, good. This is something that we can bring next season. We definitely want to come back stronger. Okay, and hopefully we can actually do that next season. All right, man. Just a quick one before we wrap up the season. Just want to share our FPL Jedi League, of which the champion is Kuala Lumpur City, Helmi Johari, and we are joined by him. Actually, he is actually in the stream. Okay, thank you
Oh,
for joining this session, Helmi. And in terms of our league, by miles, I tried to catch up Helmi for so long. You can see that I'm dropping to fifth place now instead of maintaining at second place. Other than that, Tiger James, Wakuku FC, even Girls of the Three Gaps, or Gift of the Three Gaps also managed to overtook me, man. So pretty much it is a competitive league, right, man? And Shabas to Helmi Johari, he actually finished up in overrank 2.6k, 2.6k if I'm not mistaken. All right, and good luck to you, bro. Okay, congrats. And we actually share him some token, man. Okay, in terms of winning our league. So great job.
Yeah, so thanks, well done to Hilmi, and but also thanks to everyone who joined in, and in our FPL Jedi League. Obviously, we didn't promise a lot of prizes and stuff, but we was also part of joining the stream. Hopefully we'll see how we go. In future seasons if we can get some sponsors, or but obviously but ultimately I know we're all in it because it's just a fun game, and of course
Yeah.
there's levels of stress you can't deny. That we get frustration and stress, throw our toys out the pram. But yeah, we hope to see you guys all next season as well.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So Demon Fire, you made it into the top 5, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Special thanks also to Rakan FPL. He has been with us all season and posting sometimes very difficult question for us to answer. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you for your support also in supporting our stream. Okay, Rakan FPL.
Yep.
And
Rakan, thank you so much for continuing to be with us, and helping to feed some questions for us to talk and discuss. So really, really appreciate it. And to those of you who don't know, Rakan FPL is also has their own YouTube channel. Do subscribe to them because his videos are different than ours, so it's more of snap fast things, but
yep,
also
yep,
very
yep.
useful and very
Yeah.
and yeah. So watch us both.
If you want to go short one, he has that. But us, we were more like dissecting,
Yeah.
interaction, and yeah, some people might not like this like long stream, but we really go into detail. People
So
sometimes appreciate that, right?
yeah, but we will. I promise you, one day we will get Rakan FPL onto our stream as well.
All right. Last but not least, thank you for the support, from you guys. Hopefully, see you next season, and we can come back stronger. Your last word,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. So we will continue to improve on our side. I will also try to be more, more contributing to the whole thing, because I think Hafiz did bear a lot of the burden in terms of coming up with a lot of these things. But yeah, I think it's thank you, Hafiz, for being such a great host, and
It
co-host
has been
together
two
with.
years, man. It have been 2 years, right? Continue
Yeah.
stronger.
So
Yeah.
we've seen from first season where a lot of things we were changing, and then second we solidified a bit more and be a bit more consistent. And if you remember, if for those of you who followed us on the first season, we started off recording, and then from once a week, and then it became twice a week, and then it just became stream because it was just more fun and
Streaming,
easier.
maybe. Yeah, we are streaming, right? Because
Yeah.
when we started way back 2 years back, we like not sure, not so confident, right? One is
Yeah.
like now live stream, like we just chit chatting, right, man?
Yeah, it is. But of course we try to remain on topic, and I know I tend to go overboard sometimes. Hafiz always tries to drag me back, and so that we don't be too much. But thank you so much, everyone, and hope to see you with you guys next season.
All right, thank you guys. May the force be with you always. Take care. Bye
Always.
bye.